Let's go, Raptors, man. Let's go. All the respect to you guys, man. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host, Shisham, my channel where you get reviews, analysis, predictions, and hot takes on all things Raptors as well as some NBA. So the Raptors played the Philadelphia 76ers today in Toronto in Game 6, facing elimination, and we all know what happened. So without further ado, let's talk Raptors versus Sixers Game 6. So I'm not going to summarize the game too much because honestly, the Raptors came out, they tried their best. We didn't have 3 point shooting today. The Raptors, were in it until the halftime. Pascal had it going. Gary Trent Jr. was on fire, and I'll get to him later on in my key takeaways. And Boucher was an animal, man. He was crazy. He put up 25 points to this, and it kept going back and forth in the first half. And then in the third quarter, basically the Raptors went on a lull. We couldn't buy a bucket, we couldn't buy a 3 point shot, we couldn't buy anything. And our defense was lacking. And I'll get to why that was happening today. And the Philadelphia 76ers go on a 17-0 run, and they pretty much blow the game open. And from that point on, the Raptors tried their best to get back into it, but we don't have veteran players, and that's why I respect this team for what they've done up until this point. It was a good experience for them to see this. It was a good experience for them to see the douchebag asshole Joel Embiid, try to fly around, doing front running this whole time, asking the crowd to let him hear it and all that crap. After seeing his face for the past 3 games, being a little bitch, constipated, but that Raptors lose this game. They get blown out pretty much. And yeah, but honestly, the first key takeaway, guys, is that I have absolutely no regrets for the Raptors. What we did this season after facing several injuries, not having OG Anunoby for 40 games, Freddie being hampered throughout the whole season, Gary Trent Jr. going through sicknesses as well as injuries, and Scotty Barnes getting hurt in the first after the first game and missing out game 2 and 3, which would have made a big difference. And not having Pascal for the start of the season, not having fans, we've gone through a lot of adversity, and nobody expected us to be in the situation where we were, in the playoffs. Everybody thought we were a play-in team. We would have been swept, possibly 5 games, this and that, and we were pretty much underdogs in each and every game there was. But we put up a damn fight, and we let everybody know that we are coming. And that is why I have no regrets, because watching this team play, I have realized we have a great structure to build something incredible. I think the only point where we're lagging is maybe our bench. We need some shooting in there. Uh, but that will be part of my, final video for a review of the season. But I am honestly proud of these guys because they fought through. Any team would have just, said, hell, we won 5 games, let's give up. We're never gonna win it. They made history. They were the 14th team to force a game 6 after being down 3-0. And I couldn't be more proud. And I am very proud of the Raptor fans for standing up for these guys at the end of the game, even after getting blown out, and just clapping and letting these guys know that we support them. That is true fanism, and that is why the Raptor fans is one of the best fan base in the NBA. Now, my second key takeaway, guys, is the Raptors have what you call an attitude now, and I see that coming from Pascal Siakam. And the reason why I believe that is because this man was being triple teamed today. This man was being double teamed today, triple teamed. He was being pushed around by everybody, and there wasn't being any, calls being made against him. But he put up 25, was it 25 or 24 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, which is incredible given the amount of attention he was getting if you watch the game closely. And the reason I feel like he's creating an identity of the Raptors not backing down from anybody is because when Joel Embiid was front running and he did his whole aeroplane bullshit, Pascal Siakam went back at him and elbowed him in the face. And that showed he is pissed. He's gonna work this offseason and he's gonna be our guy going forward. Even if he's not, he's gonna lead this team to where we need to be. And if this closer like Gary Trent Jr. needs to step in, let him step in. And that leads me to Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. was on fire today. And I don't know the reason why. And this is kind of like a double key takeaway. I think Nick Nurse kind of didn't have his best game coaching today. He was more concentrated on the foul calls and he let a few things slip. For some reason, Gary Trent Jr. didn't play as many minutes as he should have. He was on fire. He wasn't made the focal point of the offense at the time that he was on fire in the first quarter because he would have just put this game out of reach. He wasn't missing, man. And he had that attitude going. But he had about, what, 16 points in the first half, and then he ended up with 19 points. That tells you he didn't get much, you know, play calls for him when he should have, right? And I feel like Nick Nurse was off his game on the defensive end today because he let James Harden get off when he knew, James Harden will be trying his best. He's a veteran guy. You might want to double team it on a few plays, but he never did. Tyrese Maxey was able to go free today, and that just resulted in, us getting blown out. Now, do I blame Nick Nurse for the loss? No. He did his best job. For the past 3 games, he has coached his ass off. And if he has one bad game, that happens. But Gary Trent Jr., man, he is a future player for us. He is damn good, and as he's growing, he's gonna become our main guy or a closer for us. I think he honestly should have the ball at the end of the season, end of the clock. And that also goes for Scotty Barnes. I think Scotty Barnes was hobbled today. He didn't look himself, even though he tried his best. He played some. He went back at Joel Embiid, which is kind of the identity thing I'm talking about. That Pascal is creating. Scotty has that in himself as well. And honestly, the Raptors, lost this game, but there were a lot of positives that came out of it. Now, the last key takeaway from this whole damn series is I want to see the Heat put this bitch ass Embiid on his ass every second because this guy is a complete front runner. There is no way in hell Philadelphia will ever win a championship with this guy as their main person because he is immature. He acts like a complete and total moron when he's winning, and he's not. He is as weak as they come, in my opinion. He's a big guy. He can take advantage of him, but when you hit him hard, he always falls on his ass, flops, gets foul line. And that's exactly what happened today, too. Because as soon as I found out Zach Zarba was going to be the referee for this game, I knew Embiid was going to shoot a lot of free throws. I knew the Raptors were going to be in foul trouble. And that's exactly what happened to OG Anunoby. He got called for 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes. And he had to be benched for the first half, pretty much. And there were 2 calls, flagrant fouls, clear flagrant fouls, where Joel Embiid decides to go at Pascal Siakam after Pascal Siakam's foul, pushes him, no flagrant foul. Then he goes and elbows Chris Boucher, gives him a whiplash, and no flagrant foul. And guess what? Zach Zarba, when Doc Rivers decides to review a play on Joel Embiid where Pascal is going with his elbow up and he scratches, you know, uh, Joel Embiid in the face after he was fouled. After he was fouled, decides to overturn that, take our bucket away, and pretty much show that they had a. I'm not blaming the fact that we lost this game. We lost this game straight up, but there are certain things that do help, and Zach Zarba was one of the guys that helped Philadelphia win this game. It was honestly stupid shit because those flagrant fouls would have put Joel Embiid out of this game, but he never let that happen. You know, but it is what it is. And honestly, I am again very, very proud of our guys. They did a hell of a job. We have a bright future, and I'll get to what we need to do to improve in my future videos about reviewing the season. But Raptor fans, hold your head up high. You had this damn Philadelphia team scared shitless. And honestly, I want Philadelphia in the future. Next year, I want Philadelphia in the playoffs again. Because we wouldn't have lost this series had Scotty Barnes not gone down in the first game. We were the better team in the last 3 games, and we would have been up 3-2 at this time. And the second game, again, we would have cut it closer even if we had Scotty Barnes. And yeah, I gotta eat my words. We needed Freddie in this game. His leadership was needed. All the young guys needed him. His 3 point shooting was needed. And I was wrong that we looked better without him. It's just even if he didn't score points, he would have given us that leadership of remaining calm and not letting the game get out of hand. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. Again, I love the Raptors. I love how we played this series, and I have no regrets for them. Anyways, guys, I will see you again for my review of this season. Stay tuned on the channel. It's not over. I will keep making this content, and hope you guys enjoyed this whole season. And I will see you guys at my next video. Please hit that like and subscribe button.